Again with another BoomBapTricks here in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Shout out to Houston and All Real Radio, our sponsors out there that's blasting us all across the radio waves. They're getting their lives back together after Harvey, right? It's so many hurricane names now, I can't keep up with them. You got Harvey, Irma, Samantha, Dolores. You got all them goddamn hurricanes fucking with people. But yeah, out there in Houston, man, they finally getting things back in order after Harvey and stuff. It's still a long way to go, but All Real Radio is back up and running. Shout out to those guys. We are here in a Ghost House Studio. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to Rich. Ghost House Studios. Shout out to
Hold
Rich.
us down.
We got fuck Samson one more time for the last time, but not uploading our video. Him and Ryan Fu, aka Karate Jesus, went to Burning Man and they forgot to upload our video. So fuck Samson one more time. That's it. I think that's enough. That's the third time. He didn't even listen to the other two episodes, so he didn't get those. So we had to give him one fuck Samson while he was here. So fuck Samson. That's the last one. We out here. My name is Anthony Armstrong. How y'all doing? We out here and we got the mastermind, LaRae Martinez.
Yeah. Shout out to Houston. They had a concert last night. All Real Radio hosted it. They had about 20 performers on it, it looked like. It looked like it went really well. They did it to raise money for people over in the areas most affected and the smaller groups that are putting together stuff for I got distracted, sorry, that are getting supplies and money together to people who American Red Cross is not giving access to because they don't qualify or some other crazy reasons that's happening out there, which is a whole other story.
How do you have to qualify? What do you have to do?
Well, if you have a job still and you have money, they figure, they're going to give it to someone less, but also getting access, people not having access to get there and apply as well, is what I'm understanding.
There's always some bullshit going on.
That's why they're saying not to donate to Red Cross right now, to donate to the smaller groups that have always done the work, who are always perpetuating change and not charity. So that's shout out to Houston for having that yesterday. That was really cool. I don't know how your week was, but I had an interesting week. I'm not myself. I am 4 days off the Dr. Pepper. 4 days. Felt a little sick yesterday. Was not good. They said withdraw. I don't think I'll ever do drugs because just withdrawing off some soda was, it was bad. I actually felt lethargic, fatigued, headache, all the things, and then I didn't eat properly, so that really made it worse. And then when I did eat, man, I felt like someone just killed me. It was a bad day.
What did you get? What did you have? What's the name of it?
So I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and the best way, so I've gained a lot of weight because of that in the last couple of years, and the best way to get your body to be retrained is to get in ketosis, where your body uses to be catatonic instead of anabolic. And to do that, you have to really, no bread, no sugar, it's a high-fat diet. So what I ended up doing is I didn't eat properly my first couple days, and I ended up with keto flu. I ended up with the keto flu yesterday. So, I don't wish that on anybody.
Well,
and I thought I was eating good, but no.
You're on a very specific type of diet, so. But that's good, man. I need to get on that boat, man. So I need to start eating. I'm trying to now eat right, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to keep this dick in working order for as long as I possibly can.
The blood
I noticed it already when I lay on my back. My erections ain't that strong no more. You know what I'm saying? They let me down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta start eating right. Gotta keep this dick working as long as possibly it can on a high efficiency level. Because look at this, it's gonna end one day. No matter how well you take care of yourself. Let's say you live to be 89 years old. 89 years old, that dick ain't working no more. I don't care if you got Viagra. Your nipples might get hard. That's about it.
Then how do you explain all the STDs in the nursing homes that I see?
Well, you know what you can do. So I just learned this, right? So you can get muscle put in there, and it will you'll have a semi-erection all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. I didn't know because I did a CAT scan on the guy, and it was it just looked weird. And when the nurses were there, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? She's like, he probably has there's a surgery they can get where you can get muscle put in there. and just to, give you like a partial rate. So you can get it in there. You give them the gummy bear, goddammit. Halfway hard, not quite, goddammit.
That's crazy. Also, last night I didn't go and attend, but Ryan Fu, he's always putting together some cool stuff. He put together a backyard party, and he had all of Denver's greats performing back there. It was like the most.
How did you find out about it?
Il7 performed in it, and yeah.
Ooh, you motherfuckers keeping secrets on them.
I didn't go. I drove. I did, and I was sick. So yeah, I actually right now have a headache, like above my left eye, that wants to make me cut someone's throat right this second. So
it was last night.
Yeah, it was last night. He went to that. He didn't stay because he had his trip and his daughter too. So.
Okay.
But yeah,
I was tricking off last night. I was eating some ice cream, vanilla.
You're lactose intolerant, so I sort of.
Yeah, you're right. Goddammit.
I'm kind of understanding the symbolism there. So I'm excited about today. We have three amazing people. I'd like to start with Jonathan McMillan here. He is a success strategist and the founder of Be Better Than Average. Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
What's going on, LaRae?
Very good. I'd like to start out with what made you want to become a success strategist, and like, what does that even mean?
Oh, okay. We're going to jump right into it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first, let me say shout out to Houston. That's my second home. And, my daughter,
cool.
my wife, or my mother, my daughter, my sister, and my brothers live down there. So
I didn't know that. So were they doing okay? Did they fare well?
Everybody's dry and okay. Man. So, yeah, I lived down there for several years.
What are they saying about all the politics going on with the charity and the American Red Cross?
Honestly, they're just focused on helping the people around them who they knew were affected, and helping them get past it. Is really grassroots runs in my family. They're not worried about politics. They're just worried about helping people.
That's right. That's what I've seen mostly. Taking care of everybody is the community.
Yeah.
They have strong community. We always talk on this show. Anthony and I went down there in February, and both him and I were surprised. Like, their community is so strong. It's nothing like here. They support each other, and we don't have that here. We're still like fighting for everyone wants to be king.
Yeah, well, again, living down there, they have that too.
Do they?
It's looking at Denver and looking at Houston. Houston is just so much bigger than Denver. There's a network here in the community here who we know if we need something done, we know who to call, right? Even with what BoomBapTricks is doing and your movement and and all those people connected, there's a family of people who are on the ground doing what needs to be done. In Houston, you see that magnified because it's just so much bigger and there's so many people. But at the same time, they still have the bullshit. They still have people who having pissing contests, for lack of a better term. It's just my dick is bigger, and so I get to do this ward, or it's very divided in that city, believe it or not, with the north side versus the south side, and Acres Homes versus Greens Point. They do have a lot of division there. So, but that's a whole nother story. I just wanted to shout out my people real quick.
Nice.
But back to your question, what made me want to become a success strategist? But in a very concise way to put it is because I had to. I grew up here in Denver, born and raised in Denver. I don't mind saying that I'm 44 years old, because that gives context to the time that I grew up in the 80s and 90s here in Denver, when gangbanging and a lot of nonsense had come to Denver, and I was right there on the front line. And unfortunately, the OGs who came here, who brought the Crips and Bloods and gangbanging, they weren't the leaders that we needed at that time. And so a lot of us got involved in crime. A lot of us got involved in a lot of violence. We saw a lot of people dying here on a scale that was very similar to LA in the late 80s, early 90s. And eventually I ended up going to prison. And it was in prison at the age of 25 that I realized this was not the life that I wanted to live for the rest of my life. And I just really doubled down on finding what does it mean to be successful. So I started studying success strategies, learning about goal setting, learning about the identity that I needed to have in order to be the person who I wanted to be, learning about how I have relationships that acclimated my success, I should say. Instead of the people who I was hanging around who weren't doing anything, how do I have those relationships with people who actually inspired me to be successful, encouraged me to be successful, advised me on what to do, and held me accountable. And as I learned those things and studied those things over the course of probably 12 or 13 years, I realized that I was learning how to be the OG that I never had. And so I started Be Better Than Average, which is the name of my company, and really just started teaching some of those skills to the schools, or in the schools and government systems. And actually, my son's in here peeking at us. This was the reason why be a success strategist, because I have this little man looking at everything I'm doing, and I want him to be successful and believe that he can be successful in a way that I didn't believe at 5 or 10 or 15 or even 25 years old.
Right, and you don't even stop at just your own children. You mentor within the community in Denver, and you're working with young gang members too. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So when I started Be Better Than Average about 4 years ago, it was a direct call. It was a direct response to the Trayvon Martin murders in what was that, Florida, and I realized the information that I had, that I learned, was something that our young people don't learn at any age, really, about how to set goals for themselves, how to look at themselves as being someone who can be successful. The paradigm that I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s was we were an endangered species. When they talked about young black men, that was the label that we had. You're an endangered species, which meant that you were more likely to die before the age of 25. You were more likely to go to prison than college if you graduated, and you're about to have a whole bunch of babies that you weren't going to be around to take care of. I knew I had to shift that paradigm. I had to shift that paradigm, and so I started just developing workshops and seminars and going into the schools and doing after-school programs and enrichment programs, teaching kids how to set goals for themselves. If they want to be, hear people say, well, all these kids want to do is be rappers. Well, that's fine. If they want to be a rapper, that's fine. But let me show you how to actually make that a goal and turn it from I want to be a rapper to I plan on being a rapper. And if you plan on being a rapper, don't just be a rapper that's on YouTube. Plan on being a rapper that's making money, being successful in it. And so that's the type of stuff that I started teaching. And eventually that led me to an opportunity to work with the city and county of Denver as I have one of the longest titles in the city. It's a outreach, gang intervention, case manager, something coordinator. So basically I'm a mentor for a caseload of about anywhere from 10 to 20 young men, and some not some young men. My caseload is right now from 14 to 44, believe it or not.
One of the questions too, which hopefully I don't get you too off track,
go ahead.
is I do follow you on social media, and I see that you actually become more than just a mentor. You actually become a family member almost within the people you're mentoring, and you've gone and taken, when they've had people die or had tragedies going on in their family, you've actually taken time aside to go and have dinner with the family, invite them to things. How do you keep from, this is one thing that I know we all struggle with in self-care, especially doing social justice work, is how do you keep taking care of yourself and not, there's so many of them out there, and there's just,
it is difficult because I truly believe, one of the things I hear all the time is people say, I want to be a mentor, or I want to start a nonprofit. And when you start having those conversations with those people, you find that it's very focused in their ego. Oh, I'm sorry, my son is
he
trying
needs
to get
some
my
entertainment. I think he wants a phone.
Here you go, baby boy. Excuse me for that.
No, you're fine. That's perfect.
But you find that a lot of times the mentoring and the nonprofits, starting the nonprofits and working in community, a lot of times it's just people are just doing that to feed their ego, and at the end of the day, it shows in the results. I personally do this because again, I come from a background where I needed a mentor at one point. I needed someone who was going to be there when I needed them to be there. And so that's the person who I always attempt to try to show up to be. The self-care part is, I understand at the end of the day, I only have to report to that little man that just left the room, right? So, although I wish I could keep my phone on 24 hours a day, I cannot do that simply because it would be unfair for him for me to be giving someone else all the attention that he deserves. I'm going to give you all I can when I'm on the clock and even afterwards, but at some point I have to enjoy my life. It can't be just a constant outpouring. I have to also make sure that I'm replenishing the energy that I'm giving out. So I like to read. Bedtime story is my favorite time of the day.
He's a smart little guy too.
Oh yeah.
One of the other interactions that we had that I thought was hilarious, and sometimes I don't think when I plan stuff, but we both went through boot camp through Rocky Mountain Microfinance. Shout out to them for giving us the skills. We had a little gathering for post-grads, and I wanted to pick a park close by, and Curtis Park has been, fixed up. So I was like, let's do this at Curtis Park, And we had ice cream and stuff for the family, and Ian, who is another postgraduate, he brought some pizza from Ian's Pizza, and it was a good time. But Jonathan was like, man, this brought back some crazy memories for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like, now that they've started, the gentrification process and making these places better, that we need to occupy them too.
Definitely.
So that was one of the things being there. But I remember you saying that brought back some crazy memories for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Curtis Park was the spot where, when I was 19 years old, my brother and I were still in my aunt's car. And long story short, we were on a high-speed chase and ended up ditching the car. And we're over there on the east side, about 30th and Arapahoe. And when the police passed by us, and we saw the police, and so we panicked, hopped out the car, ran, jumped in the dumpster. And, we were literally sitting in the dumpster waiting for the police to pass by, and then we waited about 15 minutes with trash and shit all over us, and hopped out the dumpster and started walking home to 29th and Lawrence, and we get to the middle of the park and it lights up like it's daytime because cops were just waiting for our dumb asses to come out the dumps, and they surrounded us, and it's just one of those surreal experiences. I guess probably about 25 years later, I'm now in the park having ice cream and kicking it like it's up.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur,
giving back
a mentor
to the
in the community, and a success strategist. What a full circle,
it all came back home, literally.
That's what a lot of these street dudes don't understand, is that a lot of the things they're doing can translate over to business and entrepreneurship really easily if they actually had that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great thing that you're doing to show them that you don't have to do this. That same skill set you're using to sell these drugs in this motherfucking corner, you can use that over your own business and be a good, business professional.
I tell kids all the time, I tell people all the time, selling dope is a stressful business, right?
And it's all the time. You're never off.
And you can use those same skills to start your own business. You're selling dope, but you can sell CDs, you can sell broccoli, you can sell the bags that the drug dealers buy. You can do all of that.
It's just like Chris Rock said, nobody sells dope. Dope sells itself. You're just holding it. You're just delivering the dope. Yeah. That's it.
That's true. He said that?
Yeah.
That's really good. I wanted to kind of talk about your book, too.
I would love to.
Writing a book, that's another thing. Did you ever imagine,
Never in my wildest dreams. No. The book itself is my second book, actually.
Let's hold it up because they can see we have,
Get right here. Boom, there we go.
So this is my second book, and it's called I Am Better Than Average. It's 101 affirmations to help you build and live a better than average life. So again, the brand is Be Better Than Average. Everything that I'm doing is centered around building and living a better than average life. The first book was a goal-setting book, so it's like how setting a goal to live a better than average life. This book really it helps you drill down on the mindset that you need to have in order to be the person who achieves those goals. So it's 101 affirmations. They all start with I am better than average, and then and then you figure out, or each affirmation speaks to something very specific into having the mindset that you need in order to live that life.
Is there like an excerpt or a specific affirmation maybe you can kind of read to us? Sorry to put you on the spot.
But just what he said though, mindset is really important. A lot of people out here don't have the right mindset to be successful, and I realized that with I don't want to say a name, but somebody we know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Very intelligent person, has good ideas, but don't have the correct mindset to make those ideas reality, and that's what's holding her back. You know, so
and that's very real. So it's funny that you said that. A lot of times people. So very quickly, I'll say, any goal is achievable, right? Any goal is achievable if you identify the obstacles that you're going to face, if you identify the skills and habits that you need to have to overcome those obstacles, and if you surround yourself with the people who will give you the skills and habits to overcome the obstacles, right? But most time the obstacles are right between your ears. It's the I can't. Well, they won't. Or I tried, and it's all those bullshit excuses that you put in front of you that says, well, I would have done this if they had lit me. And then there'd be great ideas, right? I want to be a rapper, or I'm going to start this nonprofit, but. So, like, affirmation number 39, I'll just read it very quickly, is, I am better than average because my view is not at the level of the challenge, but at the level of possibility. I move my awareness away from the level of obstacles to the level of divine potential that's always present. When I focus on my birthright and my power to improve my condition and the circumstances, I'm encouraged and energized to do what is required in order to do so. I set large goals, implement precise plans to accomplish them, and develop the necessary skills, habits, and relationships to execute those plans. This process is quite simply the building and living of a better than average life. So very simply, I don't believe in I can't. I can't doesn't belong in my vocabulary. I don't do buts. And there's nothing that I don't believe that I can. I do
butts. I like butts. I think we talk about two different things. My bad, brother.
And try to me is like nails on a chalkboard. I hate when somebody says I'm gonna try to do this. Like people right now, you see, you're friends with me on Facebook. People are trying to do the boycott of the NFL. Fuck that. Don't try. Either watch the game or you don't. Right. Don't tell me you trying to boycott. It's 2 hours out your life.
I haven't watched any football yet this season. And I have a lot of people asking me, like, so what's going on with the Broncos? And I don't even know.
And no judgment. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care if you watch or not. Yeah. But don't tell me I'm trying to boycott. Okay, so you're trying to breathe? Yeah. It's just it's the level of the potential. It's the level of the possibility, because that's like air surrounds us. There's nothing but abundance of possibility around us. There's opportunities everywhere. There's opportunities there's 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities sitting at this table right now for me to spread my brand, to help somebody to help me, to meet somebody who I need, just need to be that's it.
Right.
And that's truly living a better than average life.
And that's one of the things I liked about the Rocky Mountain Microfinance family is, whether you utilize them or not, they're there. If you need to find out some way to do something in the business. And what's interesting to me, and I don't know how you feel on it, but most of the people in the higher ups in there, or the ones volunteering, are white. There's very little black and brown, and they're so willing to help that I find myself gravitating that way and really watching how I show up too for black and brown. Like, why are we holding this information from each other? Why can't we just share? Why can't you give this person a tip? Like, they're a totally different person and they're going to do stuff totally different than you. And these people are just willing, like, oh, I bought this, let me just give it to you. And you could just take a look and you're like, whoa, what is that?
Again, it goes into the obstacles, the skills and habits, and the people around you who get the skills and habits. Rocky Mountain Microfinance, as an organization, is an organization that helps you get the skills and habits. But within that organization, there's the Jessicas, there's the Brendans, there's the Stacys, there's all these people who have this mindset of, let's be successful together. And, you know, I won't go into the cultural politics of, you know, the crabs in the barrel. We all know, we've heard that before. The bottom line is, and people get mad at me about saying this, is I don't care what color you are. If you're going to help me be successful, I'm fucking with you.
Right.
I'm just, it's bottom line.
That's basically what I said. You articulated it better.
But that's the thing. I mean, you to be successful, you got to fuck with the people that's going to help you be successful.
Right.
Whether they be black, white, Chinese, whatever, you know?
One of the things I do a lot of times is listen to other successful people, like Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, just all these other people. Listen to him on YouTube and etc. And Les Brown, I was listening to him on the way here. He says, you know, if you want to be successful, find at something, whether it be a public speaker, being an artist, being a radio host, find somebody who's successfully doing it, and ask them, will you be my mentor?
That's like that type of stuff, like leadership. And, you know, people like that, they're going away from it. Everybody thinks they can do it better without... And we've always been storytellers. We pass stuff down. But now it's like, no one does that. Everyone's too egotistical to go to someone and say, hey, man, you doing something I want to do, can you teach me?
Yeah.
You know, it's too much ego.
Yeah, I call myself a mentor collector because I identify those people and it's like... Hey, I like the way that you know, the energy that you bring when you're on the mic. Like, and I'm saying this now, like, not as an example. I'm talking to you. The energy that you bring on the mic, I want to learn how you do that. Because when I do my podcast, I'm a kind of laid back person. I want to see I want to learn from you, right? And that's a conversation. And that really is, this conversation is building and living a better than average life. Because there's somebody who has a skill that will lead to my life being better than average.
And that's one thing that I'm always in tune with people, because you don't have to learn things the hard way. You can talk to somebody that went through that same stuff. You say, okay, let me not do that. You may fuck up another way, but at least you won't fuck up that way.
The best mistake you can learn from is someone else's.
Yeah.
That's really, Anthony and I started working together for a few months, but then one day he was like, I really want to know the process, how this thing is working, and no one will sit down with me. So one night I was like, what are you doing? Come to my office. And I was like, what do you want to know? Let me tell you everything I know. And we kind of just sat there and chatted. And then at that point, he became more family to me than anything else. I did see that you were a keynote speaker recently at a large event that's done.
Yeah, the month of August was just like mad crazy for me. I think I did 4 presentations in like 3 weeks. No, it was 4 over 5 weeks, excuse me. I was the keynote like you just said, I was minding my business, scrolling through my feed, and a young man who I had met at a workshop I did last year hit me up and said, hey, we're putting together a Stay Woke Summit. A bunch of us who are working for Senator Rhonda Fields this summer, the My Brother's Keeper Initiative, which is another organization I'm really proud of. They said they're putting together this summit, and they wanted me to be the keynote because they knew that social activism is something that I'm very keen on. And so, yeah, it was a great opportunity to talk to the young people about critically thinking about what we're calling social justice nowadays. You know, social media will have you thinking that social justice is getting online and, you know, you're sharing, retweeting, you're voicing your outrage about whatever incident it is, whether it's police brutality, whether it's President Trump, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, you voice your outrage. And I say, you know, sometimes you gotta step back and see is this the best use of my time? Is this the best platform? Am I actually adding to the solution, or am I just creating energy, or am I being misled? You know, a lot of times, I'll frankly say it, like President Trump, whatever your beliefs are, whether he's racist, he's bigoted, whatever it is, he ran a damn good campaign because he went to people's base emotions of fear and anger. He got people scared. He got people angry. And when you fire up people like that, you can get them to follow you anywhere because they're not thinking, they're not using their critical thinking skills. And so that was my message to the young people of, you got to critically think about the information that someone's passing on to you. If they want you to be mad about something, why do they want you to be mad about it?
This is what pisses me off with the whole social justice on social media thing, is these motherfuckers are sitting at home and ain't doing shit.
Right.
They just want to jump on there, they want to say something, and they feel good about themselves, like, oh, I did my part, because I retweeted what the fuck ever. And it's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I even say, just if that's going to be your avenue, use it the right way. Right? And what I mean by that is this last week with DACA, right? Everybody's pissed off about DACA, and they should be. But Facebook is not the platform to voice that because Donald Trump don't use Facebook. Mm-hmm. And that's a man who...
They're not trying to talk to... They just want their people around them to know, like, oh, look what I'm doing.
But see, what I'm saying is Donald Trump is a person who looks at Twitter, and he looks at what's trending. He looks at what the people are speaking on. If all those millions of people who are on Facebook instead of Twitter were talking about DACA, you might have got the needle moved a little bit on DACA, right? Just it's not, I agree with you. It's not, social media is not marching in the streets. My whole thing, if you're mad about police brutality, take your ass down to the police station and camp out there until they arrest your ass. Right? Because I'm making a stand right now on something that means something to me and my convictions, and I want y'all to know that I'll be here in front. I'm bringing it to the police, right? Until they arrest you, and when they arrest you, you bail out and you go right back there. That to me is activism. Not
well, yeah, that is activism, but no, people aren't finna give up their comfortabilities and their freedoms for their point. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Back to the NFL. Back to the NFL. I mean, and again, no judgment. If you're watching football, hey, I do you. Just saying, if you don't talk to me that you care about Colin Kaepernick or police injustice when you're sitting up there watching the Bills tonight. To me.
But just back to what you said about Trump, and that's how I am. I remove race, I remove everything, and I'm like, it's just like you said, he won. He won because he knew what it took to win. This is what I need to do. This is how I need to push this campaign. You might not like it, but I'm winning. So instead of looking at what you don't like, look at the overall process. Like, okay,
right.
Look at the process he constructed to win.
Right.
Instead of saying, well, I don't like him because he's racist. But he's a president now, so it don't matter.
Right. I specifically call myself a success strategist because you have to look at the world in terms of strategy. There is a system to everything. I hate the misuse of the word racism, because there could be 4 white people sitting at this table right now, and people would say, oh, they're racist. The truth of the matter is they're not racist because they're human beings. They're bigots, maybe. They may be prejudiced, and they may be the fuel that fuels a racist system. As racism in itself means that it is a system designed to oppress one race over another. A person cannot be racist. Now, there could be a strategy to break down that system, but that strategy, again, is not Facebook. That strategy, again, is not necessarily marching in the streets. Not to say that there's something wrong with that. It just, again, it has to be strategic.
Usually by the time they're marching in the streets, it's too late.
It's too late.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, they're reactive and not proactive.
Right.
You know? But just to say but I think racism, per definition, is one's thought that his race is superior to another.
So, yes and no. Yes and no. It's not necessarily that thought. It's a system that's put in place to keep his race superior
to perpetuate the superior.
Right.
Okay.
So it's bigoted people that benefit from a racist system. So our political system is racist. Our justice system is racist. Our financial system is racist. Right?
So you're saying it's not a person, it's a system that has to... perpetuate the racism. So you're saying, so what is it you would call like a single person's dislike of another race because of their race?
They're bigoted.
Just bigots.
Not just, they're bigoted. There's nothing positive about the word bigot, right? Mm-hmm. And if we start to focus ourselves on ostracizing the bigots, and honestly, bigots have no race, color, or creed, right? There's black people who are bigots.
Well, it's like
right? A black bigot doesn't benefit from a racist system.
They can't oppress anybody because they don't have the power. But I mean, only really the powers that be have the power to oppress anybody. It's just you got a lot of white folks on one side that want to see at the table, so they're just trying to push that. But this is what I was going to say, that
a lot of them suffer as well under that same system, which they don't realize.
It's their thought that they're suffering. Yeah. But I could possibly, because of my whiteness, I can have a seat at the table. Possibly. And it's that hope that perpetuates them doing dumb shit and not seeing like, damn, I ain't that far removed from niggas. Mm-hmm. You know? And they really ain't.
Speaking of, let's tell them where they can get your book and the platforms that it's on. And then we can get Taheera and Skip in, and that way we can have a good conversation.
All right. So the book itself is the easiest way, and the way I'm promoting it most often is JonathanMcMillan.com. Jonathan, JONATHAN, McMillan, MCMILLAN.com. There's a landing page and there's a tab right there. You can order directly from me. I usually get it to you within 7 days.
Awesome. What other forums? Just go to, is that the place they can find you?
It's also at Amazon.com.
But what about your social media? You have a group that people could go into that you put daily affirmations in. Come on, let's tell them what you're doing.
Yeah. So again, I use Facebook, but I don't really promote it like that. So everything is
You're good on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm getting better on it. Everything is typically my name, Jonathan McMillan. My Facebook is Jonathan McMillan. My LinkedIn is also Jonathan McMillan. My Instagram, which I'm starting to use more, is BTA_Jonathan. My Twitter is BTA_Jonathan. So better than average _Jonathan.
Awesome.
All right, moving right along. We got Miss Taheera Harris.
Yes, Harris. What's happening?
Don't give me
Denver comic.
All right.
She is an awesome comic out here in Denver, man. Ooh. And go on, introduce yourself.
Well, thank you. I'm Taheera Harris, and I'm a comedian in Denver, Colorado. I've traveled in different states. I've done some auditions, some tough ones, challenging ones. And I'm still here. I'm still working. So thank you, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
Well, how long you been doing it? What got you into it? Come on now. You know the rundown.
Well, okay. I've been doing comedy for 5 years. I've been only doing comedy in Denver for 2 years. So Denver used to make me feel some kind of way, okay? I didn't feel like they were supportive of each other, right? So I felt like I had to start off playing around down south first, like places like Florida and Texas, and to kind of do their open mics.
Damn,
and
you was everywhere the hurricane hit. You found out God trying to take your ass out. You running. You're going to have a hurricane in Colorado.
God is with me. I did leave like 2 days before it happened.
Hurricane Samuel gonna come through Colorado. Look to hear it.
I drove from Austin through Houston to Louisiana, so my family came back the same way. I was like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah, I follow you, and your vacation was awesome. You did some cool stuff. I'm like, what did you do today?
Right, yeah, I was on a mission.
Yeah.
I didn't get a lot of sleep at all. The only thing I didn't get was some good birthday sex.
So I'm only trying to fuck.
No, I'm not. That's the problem. I don't do enough. That's you.
Don't put your stuff on her.
What? You goddamn right. I have an evolutionary need to bed women, goddammit, and I'm serving my rights. Hey, so what type of obstacles do you see for yourself as being a comedian out here in Colorado or Denver?
Well, just dealing with people that are just all about the money. They're just using your talent, and they make more money off of you than what the hell they pay you or what you get.
You want to say names? I say names.
No, I ain't going to say no names. I ain't going to do it.
Monty
because,
Jones. I say names, goddammit. You can't beat me up, so what?
Bam.
I'm not going to do that because, I have a good heart when I do things. And I did make some money. I could have made more money, because I know how to promote myself. And I know how to support other people. I might not be able to support everybody, but I know how to support other people. But when you're dealing with people that, are making money off of your talent and they're not trying to, just pay you, or they're trying to avoid having to pay out the money, but they just want to receive it.
Let me just tell you that it was a pleasure having you on my show, and you're an amazing comedian, and I love your comedy, and I lost some likes because of that. So, we're ready to fight for you, girl.
Okay.
Wait, what happened?
Monty unfriended me for booking you on my show.
He unfriended me too.
Well, I mean, but that's where his downfall is at. I feel like he could get a whole lot further because he has talents when it comes to business for himself. He can get a lot further if he could just, help everybody and learn how to share.
That's what I told that dude. I'm like, dude, you got the audience. People come to see you because you're from here and they know you've been doing this stuff. I'm like, you need to treat these motherfuckers right, man, because I'm like, you alienate. I mean, you getting into it with all the artists that are around you. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, they gonna take that audience. Eventually, motherfuckers will be like, I ain't finna fuck with you. Your shows are always poorly put together. They be late as fuck. It's just a bunch of bullshit, but you can fix all that. But all he cares about the payday.
But I will say that he made me a better producer and promoter because even if I only make $80 at the door, it's being split evenly by everyone, and I don't make anything. And I learned that.
Thinking like that.
I learned that from watching his mistakes as well. So
See,
and I got exposure.
The best lesson you can learn is from somebody else's mistake.
Yeah.
Right. And, I got good exposure from it. And, I look at the good side of things, but he just has to get better, mentally. He's been through a lot of shit that I think clouds his mental that he don't even know that he's doing sometimes.
And it's not just even him. The Squire had an open mic for 17 years running. A lot of people don't know that the person who hosted that mic got paid $150 a week. And he didn't pay anyone. He ran it as an open mic. So it isn't just,
Sam
you know what I'm saying? So it's just the way it goes, And it's crazy how people, use talents to, like you said, make themselves better seem. But I don't understand, why wouldn't you want these people to come back and work with you?
People aren't that, their mental isn't that, they're not thinking long term. They're not thinking long term. They're not thinking of the audience they could possibly build and they getting here. They're looking at
right now,
a week ahead. That's it. Bam, bam, bam. They're not looking long term,
Yeah.
And I was actually I was telling you about, I was listening to audiobooks and Mind of a Millionaire, and that's what they tell. Everyone's looking for that immediate income, and they're not playing the long game to where when you get 10 years down the line, now you got $150 grand because you've built that long and you just waited for it to mature to that level.
Yeah.
Let's bring Skip into the goddamn phone. We have one of the most amazing DJs in the universe, goddamn it. Fuck it, I said it. You can't beat me up, so I'm gonna keep saying it, goddamn it.
Word up.
Me and him partner together, and we do the birthday parties through 5280 Entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
And shit, go on, Skip, tell us about yourself.
I do a bunch of other stuff. I'm a b-boy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in the educational field. I work with Youth on Record, Mental Health Colorado, through a program called Check Your Head. I work with Metro State University, done some workshops with University of Denver, and work with a organization out of Aurora called Grand Design.
God damn, Skip, I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my life coach.
All right. Much respect to Check Your Head, man.
Oh, thanks very much.
What was your childhood like? How did you come up?
Wow. You want to open that can, huh?
Yeah. Because let me tell you something. You can learn when you meet a person. Ask about their childhood.
In this background right here, Skip Rip. So I just put that out there right now. But go ahead.
DJ Skip.
Let's stop.
Skip Rip also is a finalist in the 2010 DMC, right?
Yeah.
So that's huge. And I don't know any other DJs out here in Denver who've even.
There's a couple guys out here, but
He's a legend, an OG in the scene.
I still got more work to do, though.
Start off as a DJ.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you play clubs out here?
Way back in the day.
Okay.
Big John. Remember?
I heard of him. He's a legend.
Yeah, so I was Little John.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what's up. Like Normans and Scooters and that. Yeah.
That was kind of before my time, though.
Again, I'm probably the OG at the table. You know.
So like Kid from Kid and Play. Sorry, you look like Kid from Kid and Play.
Why? Because he light skinned. Yeah,
No,
that's racist.
it's
Because
the
he light skinned got a little box.
No, Anthony, that is my opinion. That is my opinion. I think he look like Kid from Kid.
Remember you said people need to have an opinion, damn it.
Yeah, you're right. It's wrong, but you can have it. Goddamn it. What are you? Are you white? Are you black? Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes.
What the fuck are you, like, racially ambiguous?
Exactly. I am him.
So tell us about something, man. Where you grew up at?
I'll break it down.
Okay.
So we can put all the questions to rest. I am black and German.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in Europe. I have an international experience, had friends from all over the place. Italy, Turkey, Kurdistan, Puerto Rico, New York. I mean, you name it, I have friends from all over the place. So my perspective of culture and race is thorough, I'll say. And so I'm able to see things from multiple angles, A, from being German, and B, from being black. So I'm able to put those things together and weed out through all the bullshit out there and clarify things for people. It's a gift. It's a curse.
A gift within a curse.
How long you been DJing? How long you been an activist?
Oh, I guess ever since I started learning about the truth, about the way things have been engineered and designed to steer people into certain activities that may or may not benefit themselves or the community. Mm-hmm. And so used hip-hop as an outlet, started breaking, started DJing. Always wanted to be a DJ. When I first heard the sound of scratching, it was like, wow, that's the business. And then saw turntablism and tricks and battles and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's it right there. As far as breaking goes, it was a way for me to take all the rage from racism and, being marginalized from, one for one thing or the other, and putting that into something positive. And started winning contests and kind of started making a living that way from winning contests and teaching classes at studios, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. My skills grew. I connected with people from, Rocksteady crew and other famous crews from around the world, and connected then eventually with the Lords of Finesse crew here in Denver, and went on tour with G from the Jabberwockies. He moved out from Oakland, and shortly after that I went on tour with him, and things just kept progressing. And so, yeah.
How did you and LaRae meet?
Actually, he was teaching at Youth on Record, a class for DU, and he was dancing. And I don't know, he just we were walking past each other, and I saw his face, and I was like, hey, how are you? Kind of like I did with you. There was just some kind of, I felt instantly, comfortable with him, and we exchanged numbers, and we've been kind of trying to put things together since, Yeah. He has been a blessing, though. I haven't known Skip very long, but he's definitely helped me in my personal life, personal growth. He has opened me up to the farmer's market, which I have been going to the last 3 weeks, and learning actually to cook better, and connecting with other people in the community on that level too. Skip is very community driven as well.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So this is your mix right here?
Yeah. I didn't know it was gonna be played while we're kind of still talking, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but back to the activism thing. It kind of just grew from being involved in hip hop and being put in these positions, and then some people would see me in one capacity or another, and kind of see me being able to help their organization and so on and so forth. So a lot of word of mouth, because I kind of keep this I kind of keep it underground a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't really blow my own horn too much, but every now and then I have to let people know what's going on. And a lot of times people may not see that, so that'll be changing though.
One of the things that I appreciate about Skip is the All Real Radio founder, Zen. He was all about positivity, you know. And Skip, it doesn't matter how like stressful things get, especially for me, or how many things I've got with life and trying to do business and money and everything else. He's like, well, that's okay, but then we can do this too, and we can, you know, have you thought about this? And he's just always so positive and looking at everything, which is something I really appreciate.
I gotta say it's about being positive, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, so I ain't believing all that energy bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta say, you can't, if you focus on the positive, it makes you feel better. You have a better day. Because, I mean, bad shit gonna happen. You can't stop it, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times people focus on the negative and they're oblivious to the good things that have happened to them while they're over here focusing on the negative. So they think they're living this super negative life, but it's all this little stuff, good stuff that's happening that you're completely ignoring because you're mostly focused on the negative. So I think, you know what I'm saying, perception is key in a lot of things. You know, just living a happy life.
And the other thing,
True.
Don't get mad. But the other thing that I appreciate about him is a lot of people will come to you and say, I want to do this, or can you help me do this, or I want to be on your event, or whatever. And they're just taking. Skip is more of the person which, you know, I have a lot of people giving back. I have a solid team, probably the best team out of anybody. Can you hear me?
Get closer a little bit.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
I'll say something.
Hi.
No, you just got a weak ass voice.
Yeah, I do. Is that he'll say, well, what are you working on? What can I help you with? What are we going to do? Let's just do this together. And it may not be something specifically for him at that time, but let me help you get this out of the way so we can work on X, Y, Z. So, you know, that's not a common thing, too, in a lot of people. So I appreciate that, too.
I think it's one of the great things just about working with you, LaRae, and the reason why, you know what I'm saying, I fuck with you so tough is that, you know, we're kind of creating a group of people that just want to see each other succeed, you know what I'm saying? And we help each other out that way, and, you know, everyone's prospering from it, you know, and there's no, like, infight or nothing like that. We're adult enough to, if we do have an issue with one another, hey, this is what's going on, blah, 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 let's get over this and move past it and this, that, and the other. And so that's why, you know what I'm saying, I really like rocking with you like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I met Skip. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you too, man.
It's always super dope.
I gotta say, Anthony, you're a killer host. You bring something to the party that I really appreciate, and I know the people there appreciate as well. Makes a real difference.
And that's huge, because he's been doing this 20 years.
That's
I enjoy
to 20
doing
years.
it, man. It's fun.
But
you know,
yeah.
the music always be super dope, and I'm always trying to dance and shit.
Yeah, Anthony will just grab random women outside walking by the bar and like, come on in. And then they think they know him, and they come in for a minute, and they're like, okay, what's going on here?
There's been some good parties.
And he strategically posts up the big booty women by the window so that they can dance and bring in the fellas, you know?
Taheera.
Yes.
Don't you got a show today?
Yes, at Herman's Hideaway on Broadway. You got to GPS it because I don't know the address. But it's a fundraiser for a water well in Uganda. I hope it's going to these people. I hope they're giving this money to these people. That's all I know, because I don't want nobody over
It's
here.
going to a water well. It's not going to like an irrigation system?
So they can have clean water. They got dirty water over there. I had to research it myself to see
So they trying to build a well?
No, they have dirty water. So they're trying to build. No, they're trying to build another well because the well they have is like dirty water. So they're trying to build a new one. I mean, you know, they
it's
need
going
the
to
money.
the same groundwater though.
Tell a joke.
Anthony, you don't have to hold back. Just tell him the way.
I mean, you know, I'm glad they still paying me to do it. That's what I like about it. They still paying me to do the show, but they're paying me half of what I normally would be asked to get to pay because it's going to the people in Uganda. Huh?
How much time you doing?
15 minutes. I'm not going longer than that. Like, she tried to do some last minute stuff, but I only got 15 minutes for the night. So
You got your freakum girl heels on, I see.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I like to perform in my heels. Like if somebody recording me, they
you do a lot of moving around to be in heels. Don't she move a lot? Like she's a and that's one thing I appreciate you. You don't see a lot of women that are physical comedians that's going to act out their jokes, and you know you do a lot of acting.
And you don't change your voice. You don't drop that octave. A lot of female
I got
comics,
a deep voice for a woman, I think.
They drop an octave, and I don't know what that's about. I'm still, trying to figure that out after 10 years. Like, why do they drop their octave? But it's just...
I got a strong voice for a woman.
You do got a deep voice. I remember the first time I talked to you on the phone.
That southern church, I'm telling you. I got that voice.
She got that struggle voice.
Struggle?
Yeah, I remember I talked to her on the phone when I had the little get-together and shit. Oh, I was having like a little writing session shit. She called me. I sounded like a nigga named Henry on the phone.
You make me sick.
Goddamn, Henry.
What I like too is your content. How is that? Do you just write what's comfortable, or do you try to cater to your crowd? I appreciate your content because it's real, and it's things that women really are thinking too. But maybe we have this thing where we're not supposed to be saying stuff like
too
that.
Too bougie to talk about
Yeah.
I also see you trying to put some social issues into your comedy too. You were talking about the missing girls in Africa. You had a joke about that, which is pretty dope.
Yeah. Felt kind of bad. You said.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I throw, I try to make humor out of, the pain that people go through because without laughter, I'm telling you, we'll all be depressed and already in the camps that they're building and shit.
Yeah, I mean, think about comedy is that it delivers a dose of medicine with like a little bit of sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of people, you can't just go and say, hey, this is what's going on. So with comedy, you can deliver that same message, but you make them laugh about it, but you also want to make them think. So that's great.
Real life stuff. That's what people gonna gravitate to is what's going on in real life. You can't just make up something that's not real and then talk about it and then wonder why people don't respond to it. So people, respond to real. So
yeah, I mean, you can do anything in comedy, but I think the greats are the people that tackle the issues and can,
I think I have this record.
I think about Richard Pryor, Chris Rock.
I was talking about Richard Pryor earlier. How he's like my favorite comedian. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the most dopest comedian out there.
No pun intended, right?
I like Pryor, but I don't think Pryor's that funny, man. I like to listen to him.
He's man.
You got to take in context the time period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the context of it, but I'm not laughing. It's more just interesting to watch than it is funny.
Right.
Well, one of my favorite routines of his of all time is he talked about when he lit himself on fire. Right?
Yeah.
And he made that funny.
Right.
Wow, how you do that? Smoking freebase.
Freebase in that game.
When he said the pipe was like, come back here.
That's my favorite thing is the uncomfortable truth. That's the comedy I like to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Well, it says something about our society that we like to see other people's ugliness, right? Mm-hmm. You look at Jerry Springer and Maury Povich, and I can tell you, a lot of the so-called success that I've had over the past few years has been I just decided to be very, very transparent about all the shit that I've been through. People say, oh, okay, now I fuck with you. And it's like, before when I was trying to hide my felonies, hide all the shit that I did before, nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention at all.
Because everyone's trying to go with the popular opinion and not offend anybody and this and the other. Yeah. If you are who you are and you offend somebody and you're not purposely trying to offend them, but you're just being who you are, then that's on them. You need to figure it the fuck out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you got to be yourself, man. You can't let someone else dictate to you who you should do or what you say. And I think that's why people gravitate to me so much, because I don't give a fuck. But everything I say has thought behind it, and I can talk to you and break it down why I think this way. I'm not just saying crazy shit just to say it or offend you. I can break it down for you if you need me to, And people are starting to realize that about a lot of stuff I post on Facebook, because, people like to talk with you. Okay.
Think you harsh. Think you harsh.
They think I be saying too much.
Sometimes I think people go in and they don't know him, so when they read it, their comments, I know him, so when he posts something, I'm like, oh, I see what he's trying to get out of that.
That's who he is.
Right.
I accept Anthony for who he is.
And then I think those of us that know him, we post stuff, and then the other people got like, God, there's a whole fleet of them.
But you know what's funny though? So I got my Facebook set up to where if you comment or post or like something, everybody on your friends list can see it. People don't like that shit. They're like, can you take that off? Nope. I want everybody to see you fucked up too.
But a lot of times what I've learned through Anthony too is he'll post this crazy stuff and people are afraid to comment, so they'll DM him. And then we talk about...
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
Do you?
Wow.
When I just did a podcast before I came here with this dude named James Pate. And he was like, dude, you cracked me up on Facebook. He like, I want to comment. He's like, but I don't want to get, he's like, they're going to come after me. They won't fuck with you. He's like, they're going to get me. And he was telling me that they came after him because he did a show with no women. He did an all-male show. And he's like, it's not like I didn't try to book women. He's like, I just couldn't find anything to get on the show at that time. And he's like, they just fucking came at me.
Some people just have anything to complain about that they can find.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's so like programmed into people. Like every show's got drama in it. Even when there's really nothing going on in the show, it's just a bunch of extra drama for no reason. And then it transfers over into people's actual lives.
People don't understand how much what they watch and what they hear affects their thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I tell people this all the time, man. I had an experience. I was in the military. And when you get sick in the military, they put you on quarters because they don't want you to make anybody else sick, right? So I got put on quarters from Wednesday to Friday, and it was the weekend. So I couldn't leave out. So I had Supernatural, which is this show, and it's about ghosts and demons and shit like that, right? Now, I ain't no scary motherfucker by any means, you know what I'm saying? I watched this shit for 2 days straight. When I say I was scared of every motherfucking thing that moved, dude, I freaked myself out like it fucked my brain up, you know? And it literally took like a day and a half for me to like go back to normal. So that showed me right there, look what happened in that short amount of time to where it affected my brain. Imagine if that's decades of conditioning to make you think a particular way.
Yeah.
Across millions of people.
Exactly.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
I think about the Matrix.
She said it.
True.
She said, I mean, for real though. I mean, it truly is programming.
Yeah, people.
And that goes back to like the whole "I'm better than average." And you asked me what about success strategies.
Yeah.
That was an intentional strategy to combat the programming that comes to us as young black men, or even as just a minority culture, where we're told that we can't do this, we can't do that because we're black, because we're brown, because we're women, because this, that, and the other. We tend to limit ourselves from being entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, even rappers, right? We're told that it's love and hip hop is how you do it nowadays. And it's just crazy. So, I'm glad we had this conversation because it just brings it all back around.
But that's what people don't understand, how intricate this stuff is, how strategic, how specific it is. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't want to believe that that's the truth, because it fucks. Because if you wake up every morning knowing that you're in a system that you can't thrive in, it fucks with you. So people like to just be oblivious to it, like, oh, this is gonna happen. It's happening.
Like she said, the Matrix. When homeboy said, you know what, I can't deal with it. I'd rather have these artificial eggs. I know they're artificial, but I'm gonna go ahead and have them rather than have to deal with real life shit.
Yeah.
They have to do something about it.
Exactly.
It's just like the education system too. I'm a teacher at different public schools, and I like one of the few. I was the only teacher working in this, only black teacher working in this school for the last 2 years. They just hired another black teacher in the Stapleton area, but you look at Park Hill and you look at the resources that they lack, that they don't have. And then you look at Stapleton and all these people that just moved here that have all this money, and we're giving these kids these special education that the other kids don't have. So I feel like they do a lot of brainwashing with our black men and stuff through education system.
Well, that's the thing. They brainwash everybody to be mediocre.
They get you when you're young too, though. They start conditioning your memory when you're younger in school, because like special education and all of these the names that they give us, and those are not, some of them kids I've tutored and brought out of that, because of just helping them learn and just helping them learn what's real and from what these other teachers that can't relate to them, they don't know how to handle these black kids like these.
And they don't talk to them about going to college. Like, even when I was in school, they never came like they do with these kids in Stapleton or in some of the Cherry Creek schools that I have worked with lately. I see them have these college things, and they never brought me into a room or a thing saying, you can go to this college. They gave us pamphlets for Community College of Denver or some trade school stuff. Like, that wasn't even put on the table for me. So as a kid, you know, I just started working, and then it was money. I didn't go back to college till I was in my mid-20s. You know?
I think it's important to talk about these things, and kind of like what you guys were saying earlier about the social media. If we don't really put it out there or let people know where we're coming from, then maybe these topics won't be discussed. So it is important, I think, you know, in some aspect, to make sure that we do talk about this stuff so that it can be addressed and eventually action can be taken.
Right. You know, we look at a couple of years ago, there was the whole conversation on the news was the 1% versus the 99%, right? Mm-hmm. And if you look at that, and that was in economic terms. It basically, the theory is that 1% of the world's population owns 98 to 99% of the world's wealth. Mm-hmm. If you look at our public school system, what's the percentage of people that go to public school worldwide? About 98 to 99%.
Well, some places don't have public school. You actually have to pay.
Right.
For all.
Well, but still, when I say that, it's just a traditional education system, even if you have to pay for it, right? There's that one, and when I say that 98 to 99% are going through the traditional public education, the one thing that they're being taught that the 1% isn't being taught is what to think. Now, that 1% to 2% is taught how to think.
How to manifest. They're teaching the private schools how to manifest, and they can be anything they want to be in life, and however they think is what they can have. They don't tell the public school kids that. Mm-hmm. You know?
I like that, though. I like that. How to think versus what to think. I like that.
So, and let me just backdoor that. So, it's really important that if we're going to be leaders of community activists, we really have to promote self-education, right? Definitely. And you know, these two books, and it's a shameless plug, but yes, my book is all about having that mindset of saying that I can, I will, and I deserve the success that I want for myself. And quite honestly, I won't say I plagiarized, but I pulled this from the books that I read that the white people are reading. Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, Setting Goals by Tony Robbins. Like, I intentionally went to the people who are making millions of dollars.
And that is very important because, like I told you, I listened to the audiobook of 48 Laws of Power. And it gave me so much insight into, like, the way corporations run and stuff like this, because all this stuff is based off The Art of War. All this stuff that they're doing is based off these books. And you read, you're like, holy shit. Now I understand what the fuck they're doing. And when you understand what's happening, you can figure out a way to fight against it or how to thrive within the system. Because, I mean, you can't get outside of it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's you can't. We're not going to stop anything that's happening today. We are. Right. You have to lay the seeds and foundation so the generations after us can eventually pull themselves out of it. But we can't do shit right now. You know. So if you're not looking long term, you might as well bail out now.
Right. And that's like even the cover of this book. I designed it. There's little black girls and little black boys on the cover, so that they can have that mindset, so that their generation, they can start thinking about who am I, and what's the legacy that I'm living for myself and for my kids, so that we could start to shift this paradigm from black people don't own businesses, black people don't own homes, black and brown, let me put that, don't own homes, black and brown people don't have savings accounts, black and brown people don't swim. But that one, I'm sorry, that one was just
man. I'm almost there. I'm halfway through there.
You know, I'm just saying, it's ridiculous that we have that mentality. Oh, I don't swim because I'm black. So smooth.
Programming.
Africa is a freaking island.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
We can't leave out skip rip people for the Manila and the beige people too.
Hey. I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody.
I didn't know that you were in the school system, that you were a teacher. I didn't know.
10 years.
What other stuff do you engage in? We just touched on your comedy.
Affiliate marketing.
Okay.
I'm selling products online, but anybody can do that. Any of y'all can do that. Like,
you say products.
Like products from that people buy online, like Best Buy, Amazon, and all of them. Sometimes they have other people sell their products for them and just give you a certain amount. And if you get somebody else who's marketing to advertise your products for you, then you can get more money because it's like, the more
we're in the pyramid scheme.
Yeah. It's like that.
Going to work is a pyramid scheme.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree. That's why I'm trying to get out that motherfucking shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I make decent money, but I'm like, because this is where I look at working now, is that you're going to work, and they're telling you this is how much your life is worth per hour. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the way they make it is to where you only work for them and you have no time to put anything forward for yourself, especially if you got family, because you come home, you got to take care of your family, you got to go to sleep so you can get up the next day to go to work. What time have you put into yourself?
Exactly. That's what they want.
Giving them 8 hours.
When I decided to leave the hospital, which after 18 years, which was recent, I just quit my full-time job. I'm struggling, but, what happened is I watched a woman in my department. She was going through some domestic violence, and they had brought in people about, we want you to talk to counselors, we want you to reach out, like we don't want any kind of violence inflicted on you, we want you to be mentally and whatever healthy. But then I had a patient that who wasn't mine, but he was a difficult patient, and none of the phlebotomists could draw his blood. And I'd been drawing blood since forever before I went to MLT school. So they asked me to go draw this guy, and I walked in, and he said, I want someone white. I don't want you. This was recent. This was a few months ago. And I was like, okay, well, you can have someone white, but just so you know, she's not as good as me. So I'll go get her for you. And then they told me I had to go back. And I told them I would rather he died. And you subject me to this kind of mental abuse is no different than what you're trying to protect this person from with her husband. So you're forcing me into a situation that's unhealthy for me. And then after that, it was a good excuse too, but I was like, why am I here? For them? Right. So that they could get this money for, and then I was like, I need to, like Skip says, I need to put my energy into what's important and take my energy out of what's not.
Yeah, I talked about it in my other book about the goal setting is most of us live what I call a less than life, right? And what I mean by that is that we have less money, we're less happy, we achieve fewer things and do fewer things than we ever dreamed of, and we live our life in these 2 to 4 hour increments. We wake up in the morning, say 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. There's probably 2 hours between the time we wake up to the time we get to work. We get to work, we're looking at the next 2 hours when we have our break, right? Like that 2 hours we're focused on, I just got to get through this hour so I can have my 15-minute break and then come back, and then you're focusing on the next 2 hours so you go to lunch, and then the next 2 hours so your next break, and the next 2 hours so you get off, right? And then the next 2 hours before you go back to bed. That is ridiculous. What if you just took 2 of those 4-hour breaks and started focusing on building BoomBapTricks and building 5280 Entertainment or building your career, whatever it is, just taking 2 of those hours, not even 2 of those hours, taking half an hour out of those blocks. And then over the course of time, over the course of a week, you've now put 8 hours towards building your career and living the life that you really want to, right? And the person who owns that company, the CEO of each one of our jobs or whoever it is, they're counting on you never taking that time and just helping them pay their mortgage by being a good slave, good slave and yes, a master and doing all that. So, I think all of us sitting around the table are looking at, like, what's the next best move to get to where we need to be?
Well, I'm working 4 hours a day at the school, and the other, I'm entrepreneuring it. I'm selling these products online, and I'm learning. I'm trying to figure out how to do my own website to make my own products because I've been making my own lotions and supporting Black businesses and getting African soap from the African store, and I'm learning to support other Black businesses, and I'm realizing what's better for my body. And shea butter and all of that other good stuff, that's better for my body. So I'm working on just working full time for myself right now.
Well, just like you were saying, Jonathan, it's I tell people that your perception of time is important because you remember back when you was a kid, there was too much time.
Yeah.
But now that when you an adult, you get into the working field, you're not in the moment. You're trying to get to the time I'm off. So the whole week you're just, I can't wait till the weekend. Weekend come, you're too tired to do anything, or you may go out one night, you may drink, the next day you recuperate, so now you're back in that same thing. So you're literally just wishing away weeks. And you're not thinking about them as this is time I could be investing in myself or anything. You could be investing in anything instead of just wishing to get off of work, wishing to get to bed, wishing to get back off work. That's all you're doing. You're just wishing to get through the day, and then you look up and you're 75 years old. You're like, goddamn, where the time go?
Right. You know, I'm deliberately using this football season, set those 2 hours aside that I would be watching the Broncos or whatever it is, to working on my business, my next move, right? And again, it goes back to the whole trying. I'm trying not to watch football. Man, try to work on your business.
And that's why I tell people, at this point, there's no excuse. We live in the age of technology. There's so many free college courses online where you can go, look into it, and you can learn something. And you can build a skill set off of free shit. It's stuff out there for you if you actually look for it and stuff, man.
Yeah,
you know,
look for what you're interested in.
Lyft.
Exactly.
Whatever
Lyft
you're passionate about.
paid for some classes for their Lyft drivers. I feel like they're socially responsible because of this, but it's through Udemy, Udemy, and you could take classes that cost like thousands of dollars, $500 for like 20, and they're what they are teachers that get on that platform and they teach what they're good at, and they're able to sell their own program outside of the schools, and it's really cool. I've been taking this class. One of my goals is to have, which, you know, it's still my goal, but I want to have 20,000 followers on Twitter by the end of the year, so I'm taking this Twitter class actually right now to try to...
Udemy, Coursera, and Teachable are all great venues. You know,
It's one that I go through. I can't remember the name, but I taught myself JavaScript off of it.
Oh, there you go.
Wrote a little program for a little game. Taught myself. All I did was just take the course. They give you a little practical exam, thing of that nature. You got a skill set. Now, if I wanted to go, now I got that. Now, if I wanted to go to C++ or something like that, I got that base. Now I kind of understand what that is, and everything is played off of that. So now I can just enhance myself.
Back to doing this is some girl stuff right now, or for you guys too, because you need to look fresh too. Anthony, he can't be looking, shiny while we're on here, so he needs something for that. But yeah, you should do that. That's huge, because at the farmer's market that Skip Rip DJs at, Mo Better Greens, there was a woman there selling, she was selling some creams and stuff like that, and I bought some turmeric face stuff, and she had this black don't crack, but it was coffee grounds and mint, and it was a little scrub, and people, I think she had the most business out of everybody, so yeah, you should do that.
Oh yeah, the natural stuff is where it's at.
Yeah, you know Beverly?
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's been helping me learn to cook.
She's from your neighborhood, right?
Yeah, Park Hill.
Yeah.
She actually, just real quick, one of my youth that I had on my caseload this summer, he was very challenged. He had a lot of issues going on, trauma and whatnot, and he wanted to work, and so I knew that in the traditional job he wasn't going to make it, and Beverly just bent over backwards in order to get him to work at the farm with her and work at the farm at the market. So I got much love for her.
Yeah, big up Bev. Big up the Mo Better Green Market. Everybody involved.
So that'd be a great partnership for you.
Nice.
Yeah. And that stuff is free. And I don't understand why more people aren't going, She teaches every week. She gets vegetables from there, and she teaches you how to prepare them in a different way. This week we focus on oils. So we did 3 dishes, one with coconut oil, one with grapeseed oil, and then there was one other oil. Sesame oil. And then we got to try the flavors. And then I learned too, which I didn't know, because I bought some turmeric because I'm trying to be, young forever.
All right.
But I didn't know you had to put pepper with it. So Beverly taught me that. If you don't put pepper in it, it doesn't bring out those antioxidants and what it's supposed to do.
I got that turmeric powder from Houston.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
You using it?
That's cold shit. I
love turmeric. I love turmeric. My
Yeah.
family got 2 restaurants in Louisiana, so I know about all the cooking.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, turmeric is good.
Yeah, it's anti-cancerous, antifungal, I believe.
Yeah.
And it helps the circulation.
Inflammation, too, she
Yeah.
said.
It is good.
That's why they use it on your face.
Yeah, I use it as a face scrub.
Yeah.
with olive oil and cinnamon. And
your black is real smooth though, so it must be working.
Yeah, it is. I've been doing it for years.
I need to go check on Mr. Julian real quick.
No, dude, go ahead.
All right.
I think we're about almost close to being done, right? Yeah.
Okay, Taheera, what's one thing that's going right? What's one thing that's going wrong with you right now in your life?
Well, you know, everybody's been like promoting Bruh Man, bringing Bruh Man out here for some reason. He's been out here like 3-4 times.
Joe, all the motherfuckers, they come out and I'm like, y'all ain't wrote jokes in 20 years, man. Y'all ain't wrote no jokes in 20
Somebody
years.
else.
Same sets from goddamn Comic View and shit like that.
Somebody else just asked me to open up for him again. Like, I was like, okay, I'll take it, you know. But he got some other good comedians that's coming out here too. But he's cousins with Moni, so now I said, don't put me in the middle of nothing. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So and he just booked me for a second show.
Nice.
But he the one that did the Ezel. AJ Johnson.
Oh, that's the what entertainment company is that? I can't remember the name of it. I looked at it.
I just know everybody's name.
You have to introduce me to that dude because there's so many people doing shit, but no one.
Yeah,
is just a different.
But you know what? The thing I know about him is he will pay you what you're worth. Like he will do that. I don't know what they be doing. I don't care. I don't pay attention to all that. But he paid me really good to do the Ezel, and he's paying me real good to do the Bruh Man, and he got some good stuff lined up. But that's him.
This teacher, he's paying you really well.
No, but listen, I think there ain't. I told him don't put me in the middle of nothing because I didn't know him and Moni were cousins. So they're
that ain't got nothing to do with you.
They don't have nothing to do with me, but I don't know if they beefing. I'm like, I hate walking in people's shit.
He's a good teacher for me with that because sometimes I see people do bad business with other people and I'll withdraw from them. I'm like, I don't want to get mixed with that or be in the middle. And Anthony's like, you can't think of that. It's business.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. Your business with that person ain't got shit to do with their business with anybody else.
I'm learning to block it out because
how do you know they're not going to do that to you though?
Yeah.
You pay attention to what a person does and how they are. And if you know, that's like I say, if I know you a snake, but you got something I need or I want, I'll fuck with you, but I know you a snake. So certain things I'm not going to give you access to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I treat everybody like they snakes because you never know. You don't know until you know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to approach everybody cautiously and I'm going to keep you at a distance to where you're not going to get enough to hurt me, but I can still deal with you. And once I see you trying to be on some snake shit, now I got to cut my ties. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why you deal with that person like that. I don't know what your personal things is going on with that person. But yeah, if I see something starting to go wrong with us, then okay, I see you did that person like that. You the snake. You know what I'm saying? Not that person. When you telling me this person doing that, but I see it's you. You know, you just gotta be aware of stuff, man.
Because I got hit with that contract. He hit me with the contract, and I got parents.
He friended me. He might thought I was trying to swoop you up.
No, I got parents that are lawyers at my, at the school I work at, and so him and his wife are lawyers, and they looked it over and they was like, "Oh, hold up." Like, they was like, he's for what he's trying to get out of you, he's not investing enough into you to be gonna be the one that's out of pocket.
I mean, just the excerpts you sent me, I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm like, I can tell you this bullshit. I don't even need a degree. That was bullshit.
He about his money, and I'm glad I took the time to look that over because I'm like, no.
But it's like I say, he wants that quick, give it to me now, when what you have, you can build that into something huge, you know what I'm saying? Because you already got the built-in audience. They coming to see you. Niggas don't really venture off of what they normally do. So they coming to see him every time. And he has the audience, but he wants to do motherfuckers wrong, so nobody really fucks with him that tough. That's just like Ajna don't fuck with him no more.
Right.
I think he owed him money. The night that you performed at the distillery, I told Skip he missed out. There was some
that was a good show. That was a good show.
Was like,
that was a good show.
Everyone in that place was you had good following, and what is her name? I forget her name. Rashina.
That's who he asked to do the Hope, because he asked me to do that at first, but when I didn't sign that contract, then he turned away from me. So I mean,
that's what he bounces from person to person. He fucks over this person. Okay, I'm gonna go to this one. I'm gonna go to that one. And he stopped.
When you start asking more, when you start asking for more, and you start learning it a little bit more, that's when he kind of tries to throw you away. But like I said, my talent is mine. He don't dictate my future for me. So
that's what I said. When I met him, I'm like, this dude is a snake. But I need to get in front of black audiences. So I'm like, I'm gonna do your shows, and then when I start like, look, I've reached this level now you gotta pay me. Now you don't want to pay me? Okay, well, thank you for the experience. I gotta go.
Exactly. So one other thing that he just recently did is the owner of All Real Radio, he kind of sent her a personal DM to try to get involved as well after we'd already been doing this show for a while. So she had called me, and he presented to her like he was, knew me. I know him, we're not friends or anything, but not on that level for me to co-sign him with anything. So that was interesting to me. That happened a few months before you performed at this distillery as well. And I called Anthony. I was like, this dude's calling All Real Radio now. You can't call All Real Radio.
Didn't you say he was trying to get your people from behind your back too?
Yeah, he was trying to get a hold of Austin real tough. And
that type of shit.
But I didn't give all of that information. That's for me. Like, you making your money. You got your hands in different pots of different things. So let me be great. Like, you're already trying to take the one little talent, the money away that I, from the talent I do have. So it's like, I need to protect this, what I have, because you have all of this other stuff that you can make money from. But I don't like money hungry people. Money ain't everything to where you have to, that's not going to last long for him. That's,
It'll implode him eventually, you know what I'm saying?
But isn't that the dude's name? Money?
Yeah.
Money Jones.
Yeah, right?
I respect him how hard he goes for himself. Like, he knows how to get a hold of some, good connection for himself. But he don't like having to pay money. He'll pay certain people. He pick and chooses who he wants to pay. You got to have knowledge messing with him, because...
Well, I appreciate that you're back in the Denver scene and you're not, traveling around. And I know a lot of people who have asked me to, who was it, Jeff Cohen? Peter Cohen.
What?
Who wanted her to ask me about her. Yeah. But you were gone. You were out of town or something, so I didn't even. But he was looking at, people will call and ask, who can I book? Especially with, women, because I know we're not supposed to, but there's not a lot out there. So, we're proud of the ones that are and appreciate the content that's brought because it's needed. And every time we've done an all-female lineup, all the women come out, which in business, then that tells you there's a niche that's a need. So,
I mean, even with 5280, we're developing a crowd of people that support us outside of everything we do. We're starting to people that's always at our shows or coming to the parties all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen y'all's growth since Il first introduced me to y'all, like 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I think I met you at a workshop. Actually, when I met Jonathan, they do this round table thing, and they bring in local entrepreneurs to talk to entrepreneurs who are just getting ready to be launched. And they always bring me in because I had the toughest start. I had gotten divorced. I was like, it was just a train wreck. And so, but I knew that there was something more I wanted to do that I'd been holding back because I'd been catering to someone else's life for so long. And I knew I needed to do it, so I got rid of cable. I got rid of, I didn't have a car for a while. I went to grassroots bare minimum to get this out there. So that'll always bring me into talking about my story. And sometimes you got to decide, do I want to go out with my friends to brunch and spend $30? Or should I buy these flyers? Or should I pay for this? So those were the real decisions that I've been having to make. So, and that's how I met Jonathan, was in that. And then we got to talking, and I told him I knew Il 7, and he was like, I know Il. And so we had a lot of people in common, but we hadn't met yet.
Yeah, he had told me, I guess probably one of the first shows you had did, he had approached me to say, hey, basically, I like what you're doing. We want to have this comedy show and be better than average as a recipient of some of the proceeds. And I was like, that's hella dope. But I see what you're doing, and I don't want to take anything from your mouth. So when we both grow our businesses a little better, then let's revisit that conversation.
Which was amazing because we ended up giving the money for that show to a woman whose son was murdered on 2 years ago, January. Gang members rented a car to go and did a drive-by at 4 in the afternoon, and he was going to pick up his brother and sister from school for her. He's 20 years old. They still haven't found, even though these people rented a car to go, and it was during the day, no one has come forth. So we ended up actually giving the money to her to start a nonprofit in his name, and she works with Youth on Record to try to get, kids involved in music and out of the gangs. So, yeah, that was what we ended up doing.
We need more for our youth to do. I agree with that.
That's for sure.
Are we wrapping up?
Yeah.
All right, let's go around the table and get the final thoughts. Skip, what you got?
Hey, appreciate everybody and what you do, and appreciate you, LaRae, for putting incredible things together. Appreciate you for being an incredible host.
Thanks, sir.
And just keep expanding and sharing knowledge and connecting with people, because that's what we need right now.
How can people find you?
You can find me online, Facebook, Twitter, DJ Skip Rip at DJ Skip Rip.
Everything.
SoundCloud. DJ Skip Ripkin on SoundCloud. But if you just type me in Google, you can find some stuff about me.
Okay, my bad.
He's famous. Yeah, he's famous. Follow his Twitter. Twitter's amazing.
Tahir. Is it Taheera or Taheera?
Taheera.
Yeah, he had me messed up. That's why I was saying your name wrong. It's an
Arabic name. It's Taheera.
Oh, it's Arabic? Mm-hmm. I thought it was Thought. My bad. Come on.
I hate you. But I'm glad to have met Jonathan and Skip. It's always nice meeting new people. And thanks, LaRae, for having me. Thank you, Anthony, for asking me to come. I appreciate you, brother. I got much love for you.
How can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Taheera Harris, Taheera Harris, Harris, and Instagram at TaheeraHarrisFunnyGirl.com.
Damn. Long enough. All right. Jonathan, what you got, man?
Hey, so just the synchronicity in this room is amazing. I know you said that you're not really on that energy tip, but
everything is energy, man.
I'm really appreciative of being introduced into this synchronicity, and there's a lot of conversations that are going to happen after this. After we leave this room, I see some working with all of y'all. I got big things on the horizon, so appreciate y'all. You can again. I'm probably gonna mess this up. Facebook is probably the best way to reach me. It's just Jonathan McMillan. I'm the kind of funny looking black guy. There's about like 4 of us in the country. I'm the black one. Like Anthony, I'm the one pissing people off too. But also, like I said, I'm really getting big on my Instagram, which is BTA_Jonathan, and then LinkedIn. If you want to do some business with me, I'll be more than appreciative. Jonathan McMillan.
What you got, LaRae?
What I got? On Thursday, I have a comedy show at Rising Sun Distillery. I have Elliot Woolsey, who is resurging himself back into the Colorado scene. So I'm excited to see what he's got, his new stuff. We have that Thursday. And Anthony won't be there.
Won't be here.
I got Tim there. We'll have D. Kelly back as well. We got your friend... Tyree on the show.
Tyree No Legs Dillard.
Yep, there we go. I wanted to say it, but it just won't sound right if I say it. It'll come back to me somehow. And then Friday, we got the Virgo party. Dill Seven's birthday celebration.
I can't wait.
We also have Crown coming out. They're going to raffle off $200 worth of clothing merchandise that they have. So we're pretty excited about that. And Skip Rip will be on the 1s and 2s. Are you going to be spinning Virgo birthday artists?
Yep,
or?
Virgo artists. There might be some non-Virgos in there for the sake of continuity, but yeah, it's going to be a focus on the Virgos.
Yeah.
For this one.
So
and shout out to Il7, whose birthday it is. Also, he's a Virgo, so we're going to be celebrating that. And any other Virgo who's out there who's ready to join us on Friday night,
Shout out to Il.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
That's it?
Follow me, 5280 Ant.
So the reason why I won't be at the party and the comedy show is because I will be in Las Vegas performing in the World Series of Comedy.
You're gonna win. You're gonna win.
We will see about that.
You got it. Claim it. That's you. You got that.
Claim it. Goddamn, if you're gonna say I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, get it.
Also, I'm in the finals of the Comedy Works New Faces competition.
Hey.
I'm going to come back and, I'm going to do it 18th. That's not really, I already won that level, but I'm going to do just a show with them on the 18th. And the finals will be announced later on in the year. And as far as me, so I am starting a charity for former bad bitches that have lost their looks. You know, you don't have to be alone, okay? We have a dating service set for you. You know what I'm saying? We get you a good man that's gonna take care of all them kids you done had throughout the years. You know, we got vaginal rejuvenation services just in case you hustled that monkey to the brink of extinction. We are here for you, okay? If you want to talk about this, if you want to be included, email me at armstrongcomedy@gmail.com and we can talk about it. Thank you guys.
Are you still looking for the nudes?
Oh yeah, send me the news as well. I have not received any
Is that
news
part of the
yet.
application?
Send some to Taheera and me too, but not. Yeah,
They like the box body dudes,
Yeah.
the big swole box body dudes.
What?
Taheera got her titties out, so she trying to catch something tonight.
No, I'm not.
She out there fishing. She got them titties out there like a worm on a hook. Goddamn. The motherfuckers been falling out their dress all day. She been pulling shit out there.
Hey, can I shout out one thing?
Big thing, boy.
Again, my people down there in Houston, Bun B has been really active about getting some grassroots help for the people out there. So if you follow him on Instagram, it's the #1 UGK Wifey on Instagram. You can find out how to donate and get supplies, money to the people who need it the most out there on the ground.
He's actually working with All Real Radio in conjunction with that. Him and the founders were very close, and he came and did. He had an interview on the morning show about that. So yeah, thanks for plugging that.
Yeah,
LaRae, you never take us out. Take us out, LaRae.
You should take us out because that's you.
Take us out. Take us out. Nah, I'm taking you out that comfort zone.
I'm
Take us
shy.
out. Take us out. Take us out. Take us out. Just shout everybody out. Take us out.
No, you.
Take us out. We gonna stay in this motherfucker then if you don't take us out.
No. What do I say?
What?
I know what to tell you what to say. I just don't know what to say.
Say what you
thank you to Ghost House Studio, Rich for holding us down. WeAreDenver for putting everything together. Ryan Fu for mastering and putting together a bunch of dope stuff at the 16th Street Mall all summer and coming back from Burning Man, a changed man. And thank you to Miles for all of his technical work. And shout out to our home base, All Real Radio, for allowing us a platform to make a difference in our community.
Is that it?
That's it.
Let's take us out there. Say we out of this bitch.
We out.
We out. Peace.
We out.
Peace.